Peace. This is Flo Rogan, and this is the Art of Rhyming, episode 64. Just because you rhyme doesn't make you an artist. You know how we do. Comment, like, subscribe. Let's keep the snowball going. We got a special guest tonight, Griot Noy. This is his third time on. It's been a minute. Charlotte's own. One of the most promising, rarest upcoming pens in the game. You just have to listen to his music to understand. And we're going to get him on the live. He had one of my most played albums of 2023 as well, man. So, going to get him on the live and we'll get started, man. How's everyone doing tonight? Griot's there, about to join. Peace, bro.
Yo, peace.
How are you, Griot, man?
Good, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah, man. Been a minute. It feels like it's been a year, maybe, since we last chopped it up, man. Something like
Might have
that.
been. Yeah, might have been something like that.
How was your day, man?
Smooth, man. I'm in New Orleans,
Oh,
so
are you?
yeah, running around, having a good time and all that.
Dude, man, like I wanted to ask you, man. I see you jumping around a lot, man. I feel like I've been sort of following your Instagram. I feel like a few years ago you sort of graduated from like university or college and you
Yeah.
just been jumping around, man. Do you want to let us know what you've been up to and where you're situated and all that?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm always staying in Charlotte. I thought about moving for a little bit, like because
Okay.
Chicago, my favorite city. I love Chicago, so I'm there often.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
and that's like that might be the city that play my music the most too. Actually, Chicago. It's between Chicago and Charlotte, but.
Really? Okay.
But yeah, I worked at the airport for a while, so I'm used to like the free flights going everywhere. But then I'm also
Okay.
big on the road trips, like driving to do a show, go connect if it's a music connection or just to, you know, experience in different cities, kind of get the gears turning. And
Yeah. It's a
I
great
get
thing to
a lot,
do, man, with your life.
yeah, yeah, and I get a lot of verses done on the plane for some reason. Like the plane get my creativity going. Like I'll write them on
Yeah.
and I get a lot of verses done on the plane.
Is
So
that your favorite place to write at this point?
I want to say, yeah, like the consistency. I got like a 90% verse rate on a plane, man. Like I'm not going before it land. I'm gonna have some new shit. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's dope, man. So look, I wanted to back things up and give you an introduction, especially for those that are just going to learn about you. You're one of my favorite MCs, of course, a fan favorite on the show, but let me give you a proper introduction. So this is Griot Noy, North Carolina's own, a dude on the come up whose pen has been making a name for him in the underground, appearing on Machacha produced compilations, working with some of your favorite up and comers in the underground. He
Hmm.
had his entrance into the broader underground last year with his first Bars Over BS drop, Fist of the North Star. That was a concept album based on like anime stuff like that. You guys should check it out. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Just want to add that in 2023, when I did my first year-end awards on my platform, you had my most played album with Steel Fly, produced by Sean Lynx. Amazing album. And that was like an intersection of like blue collar raps and street raps, like mixed into one. Man, I felt like it was also pushing the boundaries, something you always do with your drops. Gonna keep going here. One of my favorite MCs again since I started this shit, and notably, I see you putting in some work with J.R. Swifts. We're gonna talk about that later
Yeah,
as well. And this is your third time again. Welcome back, bro. So
yeah. No, I appreciate you, man. Much love.
yeah, man. So just wanted to add, like I circled back on your last album that we chopped it up about, Golden Laws of Attraction, produced by Golden Arms, up
Hmm.
and comer from Phoenix. So I believe you dropped that last year, right? Before Fist of the North Star, or was that
Oh yeah.
2023?
No, that was still they was both last year. So that was like May. I think it was May 31st.
Right, 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 right. So that was an eclectic project, a lot of personal experience in there. I honestly think whenever you get to where you're going with this rap shit, which for
Yeah,
me, the ceiling is very high for you. I really want to see you, take it as far as you can. I think that one's going to be a cult classic when it's
I
said and
think so
done,
too.
man, when people look back on it, man. So, yeah, man.
No, I definitely think
So,
so too.
Yeah, feel the same?
Oh yeah, it's different.
Yeah, man. So Fist of the North Star produced by Holy Smokes, that was late 2024.
Hmm.
Dope producer. How did you guys connect for that one?
Oh yeah, so like, coming off the Still Fly album, that was a bridge that got connected primarily through Sean Links. Because
Okay.
while I was working on Still Fly, Sean Links produced that. But then while I was working on that, he was dropping his album with Holy Smoke.
Okay.
So
Got
it
it.
was like before Still Fly was done, he was making that with Holy Smoke. So I'm once it came out, Still Fly not done yet. So now I'm listening to that while I'm finishing Still Fly. I'm listening to how he rap while I'm rapping on his
Yeah.
beat. So it was like a bridge that was it had to get connected just based
Right.
on that. Yo, he's working on that, but he's also promoting while he's promoting the whole Mad Max joint. He's promoting that. Okay, I'm also working on a joint with Griot. So me and Holy Smokes naturally was like, yo, gotta cook some.
Where is he from, by the way?
Baltimore.
Baltimore. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Baltimore.
Dope production. So again, that was your first drop on Bars Over BS. Would you agree with me that that is like your official introduction into the broader underground? And what did that project do for you, would you say, looking back on it?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's interesting because it's such a niche kind of concept album that
Yeah.
it reaches out to a lot of people that you might not have caught their attention otherwise because it's
Y-
just maybe people interested in the show that used to watch it back in the day, or was just
Yeah.
like, this is a crazy concept to turn into hip hop. But outside of that, I think it did a lot for me as far as entering the underground because I am low key, but I'm gaining my traction right now.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it was like even some of the people that are fans of Bars Over BS haven't
Yeah.
received the album. They kind of tell me like, yo, a lot of people didn't get like, I got to start out. It was like 50 copies, I think, physical with Bars Over BS with that one.
Okay. Okay.
A lot of people was like, maybe they'll pass on it, and then later was like, damn, I shouldn't have passed on it.
Mm.
So it was like I think it was almost perfect. The people who took a chance or maybe was attracted to the art or heard of me. A lot of the people in that fan base, they hear me from my feature catalog
Yeah.
because I do a lot of features. Like I see him, he just said the Maze Overlay verse. Uh
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Swim bait. Thank you for joining. Yep.
yeah, so I'm on the Machacha album, I'm on the Maze Overlay. I'm on everybody album who get vinyls and CDs, but I
Yeah,
don't have
man.
one yet. So then the people who was familiar, I think, was like, okay, this the dude that, I'm on the Sean Links album, I'm on the Jamil Honesty album, I'm on the Machacha
Yeah.
album, I'm on
Yeah.
the other album. So it was one of those.
Amazing. I mean, being I was tapped in with you in 2023, bro, watching those steps, those milestones, that was amazing to see, man. It's a great step forward, man.
I did.
So, yeah, man. And what anime was that based on? I'm gonna be honest, anime is not
Yeah,
like my expertise, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But what was that based on? What anime?
So I actually took it straight from the name. The anime is called Fist of the North Star.
Okay.
It has a lot of like variations of it, but it is primarily like a 90s anime, so a little bit different, like a dystopian world concept. And
Yeah.
honestly, when you break it all down, the theme of the show is pretty simple, but it's a lot more intricate when you watch the full story. Like it's basically a dude, he's the leader of his kung fu school. He had a best friend who the rival of his
Yeah.
kung fu school,
Right.
and the dude wanted the main character girl.
Yeah.
He beat him up for her and took her and
Right.
ran off. He basically kidnapped her, ran off, and the dude is traveling through the show trying to find him. Yo, I gotta find him. But it's like
Right.
an civilization type of world. So he's
Got it.
going through towns, he's saving towns they don't have enough food left after the collapse of civilization. But he just kind of a hard body dude. He stand on his morals and handle business.
Got
So
it. That was an interesting introduction to the underground. Would you agree? Because like when I
oh yeah.
think of you, I think of like soulful. You got a little like a kind of a street edge too laced in there.
Yeah.
But did you plan it that way, or it's sort of on just sort of timing is how that was your introduction to the underground? Because you've never made an album anything like that before, right?
Oh yeah, that's definitely the first. Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
it was a timing thing for sure. I didn't set it up like that.
Right.
Me and Holy Smokes were gonna cook regardless.
Yeah.
Now, given that it was a show, I was watching the show while I was making the album. I'll
Yeah.
say that was the very first album where the track order of that album is how I made the songs and wrote the songs. Like track one was
Okay.
the first one I did, track two was the second one. Like
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah, up until 10, I did it straight through. Track 10 was the last one I
D
did.
does the so I peeped the album a few times.
Yeah.
Um, but does the story go in a linear sequence? We're gonna talk about Vegas 7 Shadowrunner because I did a massive interview on that when it
Oh yeah,
dropped.
yeah.
But does yours follow a story in sequence from track to track, or each track was like its own sort of thing?
So kind of how I think is kind of like the same way with that album. It's kind of the same way of how I pick album title names
Yeah.
because how I kind of do it, I'm watching the show, and as soon as I see something I just think is cool, or he'll say something like a move, I'll write
Okay.
it down, and I'll be like, yo, that should be a title, that should be a song name, that
Yeah.
should be, like he'll have a move like Golden Death Wind Fist. He used it one time, I think, and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was crazy. I'm gonna make that a song title. So the actual titles don't have an order to them, but they each do come from a moment I saw in the
They
show.
represent, okay, yeah, yeah. That was similar to Vega's Shadowrunner when I interviewed.
Okay.
Writing a story in rap form from one track to the end, man, that's the tall feat, man. That's
That's hard.
maybe that's the next one, you know what I mean? The
Yeah.
next concept album, who knows? But wanted to ask you, man, how did that Bars Over BS situation come together? It's always a dope milestone, you know what I mean? How did that come together? Is there anything you could share on that or
Oh yeah, I mean, honestly, I'll be like, it's pretty cut and dry. At the end of the day, I'll give a lot of the credit to that, like all flowers to Jamil Honesty on that.
okay.
That's primarily Jamil Honesty. Now,
Shout out to Jamil. Yeah.
yeah, shout out Jamil. Holy Smokes technically is like a producer with Jamil's label,
Okay.
Black Records. So,
Yeah.
given that I was doing the album with Holy Smokes, he handles that half of Holy Smokes, a lot of that business. So he kind of was like, yo, I'm gonna put the word in Bars Over BS. We get the, what I'm saying?
Nice, nice.
So he connected that bridge. Like when we was discussing the copies and how to do it, like the group chat was me, Holy Smokes, Bars Over BS, and Jamil Honesty.
Mm,
So that built the bridge. So I think once I gave them a full body of work and they listened to it, that kind of built, okay, we might be able to just mess with him in the future as well.
I'm guessing since you've worked with Machacha that you've probably talked to Copenhagen. Maybe not. Maybe you don't want to say too much, but I thought I'd ask you. Are you in like conversation with like Copenhagen and stuff like that?
I want to talk to them more. Now, I will say it might have to come by way of something like a Machacha album, which would be fire, which is
Oh
something
yeah,
we have spoken about already.
yeah,
I think I wasn't in my rhythm to knock out all the projects I was working on, but
right.
I have Machacha packs, what I'm saying, on my drive right now for sure. So
Okay.
that
Oh,
is
nice.
that could happen where if I complete something, I think the Copenhagen Bridge will be built, but not right now though. I
Yeah,
think I'll
yeah.
complete that.
That would be amazing because he crafts an album for the artist, man. Everything is different, man.
Oh yeah,
It's amazing, man. So yeah, man. So again, when I peeped Fist of the North Star, like I had just recently done a second interview with Vegas 7, the Ronin. He sent me Shadowrunner in advance. That was a concept album. Generally speaking, it was more like a story about a detective, like a cybernetic detective in a dystopian future. I think it also had some anime influences, had a lot of different influences.
yeah.
Um, just the way he pulled it off, I thought was incredible. Did that project inspire you at all to do something like this, or not really?
They definitely all rub off on each other as far as like what you consume. Like I
Right.
know the specific tracks from that album, I definitely was like, oh, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
my first time hearing them. And I
Yeah.
feel like at the end of the day, like when you hear someone like him, he's someone who can expand on the topic very deep. Like
Oh
his
man.
his
Yeah.
wordplay, his bag is so deep that
Yeah.
he can really expand the idea like a simple concept. He can expand that a
Yeah.
lot. And I
Yeah.
think it's more of like a blueprint of like it makes it easy. A lot of times the concept albums they make it easy to just get some workout and also come up with something interesting because you can have your own perspective, get inspired easily,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you can stretch. And for me, like with the Fist of the North Star, to me, it was like a way to you can expound on a story. Like I could take a character spot and I
yeah,
can write about that without it being capped as well. You know what I'm saying? As far as
yeah, yeah,
like in the show The Fist of the North Star, he doing stuff like he'll punch a dude one time and his chest explode or something. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So I'm saying stuff like, yo, I'll punch a hole in your chest, you know what I'm saying? Or so
Was Vega an inspiration at all with Shadowrunner? Is what I'm asking. Did he
oh
inspire
yeah.
you at all, or okay?
Now I would say definitely. Now I'm a big student, so I study everything that comes out as I'm working on releases for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Especially maybe I just make something, or maybe I hear a beat. A lot of times when I hear beats, I hear them like, oh, this sounds like some this person would kill, and maybe I'll go listen and study,
yeah,
without biting any bars or anything, still be
yeah.
my MC. But definitely, he definitely has some inspiration, I'll say.
And just to give some props to Vega, I mean, he's one of these rare MCs that like it doesn't matter what he's rapping about, you just want to witness him rapping. Honestly, the dude can describe paint drying on a wall probably, and it would be dope. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
you
That's
are.
that's how articulate he is. You know what I'm saying? So props to Vega. So I feel like even on your new project, Tears of an Apostle, which we're gonna really break down in a
Oh yeah.
bit, you're still inspired by like anime like visuals, like the shit you're rhyming about. I noticed in your bars. I'm just gonna quote something. Let me know if this is anime inspired as well. You're like
Okay.
too ecstatic how I'm pushing his glasses into his brain. It's natural that I remain disasters when I awake. These dead men walking, promise your caskets will get a grave. It's lavish when I'm ablaze. Catastrophes in arrays, betrayal. I'm not accustomed. Them bastards would get a blade in the heart. Like I feel like that's that anime shit visuals though. Still though, is that right?
Yeah, no,
That about right?
most definitely. It's like it's a certain mentality that come with it. Like someone who don't allow themselves to be like not fucked over, but like to be taken advantage of in any way.
Right.
Like you thought she was gonna get off on me, I
Yeah,
got
yeah,
some, I got something for that,
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, bud.
definitely,
Yeah.
yeah.
So do you think you'll be making more concept albums in the future, or is this a one and done?
Oh, I'm gonna have definitely more concept albums. I don't know how many will be completely anime based. Um,
Right.
Off top of my head, I got two in my head, but one's based on a book, and one is based on like a suspense movie.
Oh,
That
wow. Okay.
that will be albums. I mean, I'll name them. Well, one I know it's gonna be based off like Cujo, like a Cujo type joint. I don't know if you've seen Cujo, but it's
Yeah,
like
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Horror
that
movie, man.
old
Of
joint.
course. Yeah, man.
I remember the last time I watched it, just the sound. I was inspired by the sounds, like the random sounds, and I thought it
Okay.
would be hard to have an album sampling some of the sounds in that movie. So that
Mm.
was one concept album I'm definitely going to do. And there's a few more. I have a list of stuff I come up with. Like, okay, I'm gonna get to that one at some
And
point.
and Griot's dad, if you don't know, is a best-selling author, man. So we're gonna talk. I got some points on that in a
Yeah.
minute, man. So it's not entirely surprising either at this
Okay.
point. That it's in the blood. So I was pushing for that Vega 7 collab the other week in the comments. Vega really respects your pen. Uh, he thinks it's one of the best in the game from my conversations with him. I think it would be amazing if you guys dropped a track. You guys both push the boundaries with every drop in different ways, and that would be a dope intersection of styles, man. Did you guys actually connect after to talk about
Oh
this, or
yeah.
or not yet?
Oh no, we've definitely spoken a few times.
Okay.
Like he told me, I know when I dropped the Flesh Wounds video, he told me that was one of the joints he really was messing with out of like stuff I was doing recently. He was fucking with the wordplay on that one. Now for me, it's like you respect somebody and you study them, but it's also like you competitive and also prideful with me. So it's like I don't want to rap on nothing with him. I don't want to be embarrassed. I got to be prepared.
Oh
I'm not.
yeah, yeah,
I
man.
I can't rap on some with him and not be at 1,000%.
Uh-huh.
So is
Yeah.
the landscape has got to be picked out, so I could be like, okay, now this is the
It's
one.
it's got to be strategic. to a
Yeah,
degree.
this
Yeah,
the
yeah,
one.
yeah. Yeah, but so look, man, I wanted to give you more props on what you're doing because like already a bunch of your albums I spun like crazy, you know what I mean, when they drop. And I just want
Yeah,
to take some time to give you your props. I'm gonna say a lot of shit about what you do. I really want the new people that never heard of you to check out what you do, but feel free to interject when I'm speaking here, man. So
say that.
again, I've been running this platform for 3 years now. I'm not naive to what this game is and how much work is required to like crack the code and eat off music and shit. And I know you got a lot of work ahead of you, but I just want to tell you what I think about your art right now, including with your new album, man. So I literally think you're everything hip hop could be. I know that's a big statement. I feel a lot of hip hop music in the underground and just in general gives an aspect of a person, but your music gives a 360 view. It could be the streets, the soul of yourself, relationships, heartbreak. You capture it in the detail of an author and a poet, man. The shit is vivid, man. So I'll say that. I could play your projects back over and over, and I'm always catching the subtlety in what you're saying. It almost gets better with every listen. It's crazy, man. Um, some of your rhymes I'll never get, and I can only interpret, but that's what's also cool and adds to the replay value. Um, last One of the last things I'll say is about this project in particular and other projects like your Steel Fly,
Oh,
Golden
yeah.
Laws of Attraction. There's enough variety in your thought and vibes in each project that I could spin it over and over, and I don't feel like I need to listen to another artist or another album, man. I could just lock in and let the shit loop. So I'll stop there if you have any comment, man, because I said a lot there, man.
Nah, nah, I definitely appreciate that. You made a valid point, about kind of just my family history, kind of just what I come from. Well, I know we probably will talk about that more in the
Yeah,
interview,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I definitely do have a different take on it, especially because me, I come from a different angle of even musically outside of the family history, even musically, I started as just a guitar player, to be honest.
yeah,
I played the guitar, electric guitar, acoustic guitar, I had lessons, and I just
yeah.
like songs with good guitar to them. You know what I'm saying? So it took I think the first artists that really pulled me more hip hop was the people who was incorporating guitars in hip hop. And then I was like, dang, what he's saying is hard too, which would be more like a Jay-Z, Lil Wayne. Kanye did it too for a little while, guitar runs and hip hop.
Yeah.
And then kind of just running with it from there, to be honest. But
Do you still? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
uh, yeah, that kind of would be. That's all I had to say for real
Do you
on.
still play?
I play now. I'm not as nice as I used to be. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
I can't read music or nothing like that no more. But I
Right.
play tab and I'll make something up. I can make something up and play.
Do you ever play like a little bit and then sample it or anything like that?
I want to. That's gonna come. I think.
That'd
I'm
be
gonna get back
crazy.
to that. Yeah, I'm gonna get back into that for sure.
Yeah, man. So I know you come from, again, a family of writers and musicians, but it's amazing to see how you got these author-like qualities while being nice. Like your shit is aesthetically nice to listen to. It's not like you're just cramming words in there. Like
Hmm.
you're an author while sounding nice on the mic. I think that's a rare combination. And I'm just bearing in mind, like all the things I said, you're 26, you're not like a young kid anymore, but
Yeah.
you're definitely mature with what you're doing, man. And you mentioned you got a different perspective on things. For me, like I've been listening to hip hop since the 80s, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm interested in finding artists with different perspectives that are making dope music. A lot of artists are really good or competent in the same lane as a lot of others, but when I find someone that has a different perspective and does it well, that's when I get excited. You know what I'm saying? These days, for me, anyways.
I'm
So,
definitely.
yeah, man. So, did your dad ever give you any tips in pursuing the arts in general? I mean, not everyone can write a best-selling book and get it published, and not everyone could be a rap star. Has your dad given you any tips about pursuing the arts, like how to keep your head on
You know,
straight with this shit?
the funniest thing about that is we do not get along creatively at all. Like, I
Right.
don't agree with a lot of his takes at all. He influenced me very heavily with how I was raised and how I grew up. But at the same time, be like, because he's more the type, because dabbles in music every now and then too, right? And he takes a lot of pride in how I write. He's like, man, I raised you, so I know you write good. Do this
Okay.
song for me. I need you to do this. But
Yeah,
he'll be
yeah.
like, he feels if he can give me compensation for it, I should do it. But I'm more the type, if I don't like the idea or I don't like how that sounds or the concept, even if you offer me compensation, I don't want to do that. So then we bump heads. Me, if someone paid me to do the autobiography, which he's done plenty of, I'ma do it, man. It's
Oh, he's
$1,000.
done plenty of them. Okay.
He's done plenty. He did
Wow.
Mary Barry. He's done some football books. Maybe he was behind the scenes. He
What
might not on the
what's his
cover.
name again? Do you mind
Oh
sharing his
yeah,
name?
Omar Tyree. Omar
Okay.
Tyree. So
Okay.
like at peak, like in 2000, I don't want to get the year wrong. It was, I think, 2001. He won the NAACP Literacy Award.
Wow.
So that was like peak. Like, okay, he got the, no, at that, I'm 2 at that age. You know what I'm saying? I'm 2 years
Yeah.
old and he's
Yeah,
winning
yeah.
the literacy award. But we don't really get along creatively. Now he feels I should kind of get in tune, use his resources more because he feels like he didn't have no resources. So if he did, he would
Yeah.
use. But we just think different. But he respects the work, and I
But
respect his.
aside from creative differences, did he give you any perspective on how to think about pursuing the art, or not really? You guys are just
Yeah, not really.
too apart to really get into that kind of stuff, I guess.
Yeah, not really. He loves football. He taught me how to play football,
Okay, got
baseball,
it.
basketball. Uh, but as far as that, I will say the most he did help me with, and I've been realizing this more lately, is like by the time I was 5 or 6 years old, when he would write books that are, released and published now, it'd be something like, I'm a kid, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll give you $5, just edit over this book
Mm,
for me, right?
right.
So I'm editing punctuation, in New York Times best-selling novels for like $3. When I'm like 5, like, oh, I'll get $3 if I fix his commas and his punctuation.
Yeah.
So stuff like that definitely had a lot of influences on me, just as far as like even vocabulary. I'm 5. This book is for 18 plus people or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He want me to edit the punctuation,
That
you know, stuff like that.
and that's why your pen is what it is, man. It's all priming you for what you're doing now, I feel like, man. You know what I mean? So it's crazy, man. Um, so look, I'm always sort of real with my input on music. I really respect Fist of the North Star for what it is. I kind of said anime wasn't my world, like I didn't know that movie.
Yeah.
But when you told me Tears of an Apostle was your most ambitious project yet, and it was going sort of in a different direction, I got super excited. And just because of the depth that you rap about real life in your other projects, I think the way you describe reality is almost more interesting than fiction. So I got super excited. And by the way, I sent Griot money for that album like a month ago, man. I wanted to hear it in advance, right?
Yeah, that's hard.
I must be the first person to buy the album.
Oh, you are.
And I've been bumping like 3 different mixes, man. So yeah, big fan. Um, So I like that you're one of these artists. You could send me shit early, and there's a bunch of really dope MCs that do. I'm honored when they do that. And I might give you my thoughts, like a couple feedbacks here and there, but you seem to like take it and still you could just say, nah, this is what I'm doing and I'm moving forward, man. What do you attribute that to? You seem to be able to process feedback and not get over consumed by
Oh
it,
yeah.
man.
No, honestly, it kind of comes down to something I've been thinking about more recently. I kind of think about it like an iceberg theory, as far as like even when I write, like sometimes I write something, and even though I wrote it, I hear it, I listen to it, and I realize, dang, I didn't even realize I did that bar. Like it can have another meaning. And what I'm really getting at is, I feel like how the same way the iceberg theory is, right? It's only 10% at the top. The rest is underneath the ocean.
Right.
I feel like, just trusting my instincts musically, I feel like if this is what made me do this, I feel like there's reason underneath, even if I'm not conscious of it. I feel like this what I think is hard. That's gonna be cool. I'ma trust it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like even the tracks like like doing the longest song on the album, make it the second song on the album. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, that's one of the things I was like, yo, are you sure that second verse should be that long?
Yeah,
You're like, no, no, you're basically saying you like it the way it is, and you know
yeah,
what I mean? It challenged me as a listener. I'm like, yo, that's his vision, and like, okay, cool, man. I'll just accept it. You know what I'm saying? That's a real artist. You know what I'm saying? So, by the way, J.R. Swift is like the GOAT. It's amazing that someone like that, sees that in what you're doing, man, which is, I think you got that type of skill set for sure, man.
oh, yeah. Shout out him. I learned a lot from him.
Yeah, man, we're definitely gonna talk about the work you guys put in. At least I know you guys got at least a single. We'll get into that in a
Oh
minute,
yeah.
man. So, with Tears of an Apostle, if I understand correctly, there were some delays in this album, and it was also one of the most challenging for you to put together.
Mm.
What was that about? You want to take us through the timeline,
Oh yeah. I mean,
making the album?
yeah, for sure. I mean, really, like with the albums I have been making, Fist of the North Star, Golden Laws of Attraction, Still Fly. Those are all me, one person. Not too much going on. I'm one person, me, one person on the cover, one person on the mix, and the
Yeah,
producer. So this one being first, it's the longest album, so you got the most tracks, and then
yeah,
also instead of one producer out of 15 songs, I got 9 different producers, right? Then I got the engineer, then I got a cover artist, then I got 3 features. It was so many pieces to piece together for me. So, it's easier to make the story make sense when you have one producer because they have tendencies that they sound well together already with just their production habits. So
yeah,
it really was a thing of when this beat goes to this other guy's beat and they don't produce the same at all, how do I make this make sense? What am I going to be rapping about on this one? What does the beat sound like on this one? And I ended up leaning more to how I can make the beats transition as far as the topic, but also, just consistency in the lyricism as far as like stay on topic. You know what I'm saying?
it's a bold move to think of transitions in terms of topic because a lot of listeners these days don't think like that. They think on vibe level, you know what I mean? So it's cool that you're in that thought process, man. It's different, I would say. Um, yeah, man. And were you getting antsy at all having this much time between drops? You know what I mean? I feel like overall people in the underground are slowing down a bit, starting to breathe. People are going crazy over the last few years, but it's been about a year since your last drop. Did I get it right? Were you getting
Oh yeah.
antsy at all in the
Oh, I was
climate we're
very,
in?
very, very antsy because I'm in a strange predicament with it because I was just realizing this honestly over the past week or so. I'm at that point where I'm not the biggest yet, right? I'm underground. I'm making my breakthrough, and there's a lot of potential. But I'm at that point where I was already working at a nice pace. I had this idea, this idea, this idea. Like there's multiple other projects that haven't even been promoted or completed. That's maybe 60% done or
Okay.
70%. You know, so it's like I'm at a point where okay, I want to finish this and those, but I'm bubbling. So there's also people extending out to me that this is bigger than anything I'm already working on. I don't want to miss this opportunity.
Mm, yeah.
So it becomes a lot of overlap. Like, dang, I don't want to let this slip by me right now. Even
Yeah.
I had all these other ideas that I was working on before I met this person, but I don't want to miss this window. So it's kind of a slippery slope.
And most of these artists that go on a crazy run for a couple of years, they're loading up first. Like for a couple of years, they're loading up their product, and then the run really starts from what I've seen. So
Hmm.
yeah, man. You want to shout out all the producers on the project?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Let me see. I'll go through the track order. Track one, that's Custodian. Now I will say Custodian. I'll give him a huge shout out just because. Now originally, I will say the Tears of an Apostle concept when I originally developed it and assigned it, it was only gonna be a me and Custodian album.
Mm, got it.
So out of the 15 songs, he has 6 of the beats, I think. He has 6 of them. So it was like he definitely created the exoskeleton.
Right.
Like before I expanded it to more tracks and more producers, it was only Custodian, only some of those Custodian joints. So big shout out to him. He did track one. Track two was Sign. Sign, that was the second most. So Custodian did 6 joints. Sign did 2. Anybody else, I think, would have only done 1.
By the way,
Um,
all the material is quality, all the tracks, man. Nothing
oh yeah,
is waste material, man. So yeah. So keep going, keep going.
definitely crazy production from all these people. But yeah, the Custodian of Records, Son Ivory, you know what I'm saying? He's going crazy. He got 2 joints, track 2 and 15. And then 3 is Hobgoblin. That
Dope
one,
producer from
yeah,
UK,
that
right? Or Australia, was it? You know?
I don't know where Hobgoblin is from.
UK or Australia, pretty sure.
Okay. I'm gonna have to tap in with him again and see. But his joint was crazy. I know a lot of people like his. I kind of had it floating for a while. It was like I love this song, but where do I put it at? And it ended up falling into this album well. So it kind of happened like that. The Law and Order joint, and then 4 was track 4. Oh, Love Is War, that's Custodian too. So then 5 you got PYX did Ghetto Symphonies. He is more low
Great
key.
tune.
He's very low key. He's doing like honestly a lot of photography right now. He's not even doing a lot of production. I sat on that for about a year, that beat or something like that. I sat on it for a while before I got back to it. And then Shabazz, the dude Free at Last Shabazz, I met him in Greensboro. Shout out him. He did the Doves freestyle. Uh, the
So
Doves
did you make this album on the road, like on the move?
a little bit. I mean, because some of the songs, that's the oldest beat on the album. I sat on his beat. I want to say I sat on that beat for 3 years because how I think when I like something, I just like it. You know, I'm an ass. I'm gonna shoot my yo. Can I get this joint? You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna listen to it up and down, like. And once it makes my wheels turn, I'm gonna just write. I think I had it for 3 years or something, and then I just wrote this year, and turned out like that. So shout out him for bearing with me on that. But after that, Golden Arms, of course, is on the album. That's always gonna click. We already got a whole joint.
Amazing, amazing upcoming producer from Phoenix, man. The way you guys put together Golden Laws of Attraction as his
So yeah,
first project that he mixed, his first mixed project, that's crazy how that came together, man.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
hard. So he did Tears on My Coogee, and after that, you got a whole bunch of Custodian joints again. I think he did. That's 8, 9, 10, 11. That's all Custodian. Shall Pass, Ra Roche. He's from Chile. That was another one that was floating for a while that I had to place on the album. Shout out Rod Roche. And then after that, June. June is from Charlotte. He's the only Charlotte
Mm.
producer. It's 2 Charlotte producers, but June is up and he's rapper and producer. I was on his album as a feature, his past album. Shit Ain't Sweet was the name of that album. And he sent me a pack and kind of was like, yo, pick the 2 you really mess with. And that Beacon song caught me immediately. So after that, we got Tread by Nile Waves. Shout out Nile Waves. And that last joint is also Sign Ivory 15.
Dope, dope, dope from front to back in my books. Are you gonna take a break from the multiple producer stuff? Give yourself a breather? Uh, are you,
Pro- yeah,
do you have a
probably.
preference at this point after having gone through that?
I want to say I'm kind of reaching the point where I might pace it as like when I reach a certain point in my life, do I need to make something of that landscape? Like the last time I did it was 2022.
Yeah,
It, that would have been the Explanation Kills Art project. But
yeah,
at the same time, I wasn't big at all at that point. So, that's my last album, 2022. I'm still in college. That's my last album that I'm stealing YouTube beats. I'm taking people vocals
yeah.
off. I'm doing some shady stuff. So
It,
I didn't have any connections
it's
for me.
crazy that Nas dropped Illmatic as his debut album with multiple producers, and it turned out to be as classic as it was. It's
That's
crazy
why he
thinking
different.
about that, right?
Yeah, he different. That's why he different.
Yeah, bad. Yeah, bad. So, I want to break down the project a little bit. Tears of an Apostle just dropped. You guys should check it out. Before I do that, why don't I just shout out people in the live? We got Third Eye
Yeah.
Chess, KG, thanks for joining. Just Rumors, Alani XO, thank you for joining. Ray P, Zashimi, and more, thank you for joining. So look, I'm really not that versed in the Bible. So I had to look up, believe it or not, what apostle means. Each of the 12 chief disciples of Jesus Christ. Can you break down the meaning of the title and the concept of the album?
Okay.
Because,
Yeah. No,
yeah,
most
go ahead.
definitely. I mean, it really all boils down to being like raw levels of expression. And it's funny because I don't necessarily, I'm familiar with how apostles stand in the Bible, but being
Okay,
that I'm not a Christian, I'm a 5%er.
right,
So it's kind of like, apostles can be seen almost as like a prophet in a way,
right,
but like a messenger of God almost. But as a 5%er, we see ourselves as we communicate to each other as God. We
right,
believe God is He living, He here on earth, and it comes from knowledge, everlasting, constant elevation, how you build and how you teach. It
right,
leaves you here forever. Like if I teach someone a whole bunch of history and then they teach the next generation, they continue to always remember where this knowledge came from, which is how the 5% is built. Like me, if I got my knowledge from Allah King Wise, who got his knowledge from Allah B, who got his knowledge from the father Clarence Edward Smith, which is my tree. you know when those people are if they're no longer here, that still is my knowledge. They live forever. That's like how we see each other as the God. So to me, Tears of an Apostle is my expression, my struggles, what I'm dealing with. This is how I'm expressing it. You know what I'm saying? It's like whether it's Tears of an Apostle, I'm crying, you know what I'm saying, expressing, rapping, writing, anything like that.
So, so I'm gonna quote one of your bars here from the track "Memoirs of an Apostle."
Oh,
Apostle, you're like force-fed religion by my elders. I scoffed in the face of Christ as if he was scary as them ass whoopings running the streets or them beating by belts. So is that something were you Christian and you're
yeah.
sort of change your ways? Because I feel a lot of your music is centered around 5% or stuff.
Oh yeah,
Um,
sure. I mean, I feel like I never was like luck. Well, I don't want to say luckily. I don't want to offend anybody's religion, but how it was is both my parents were both raised Christians, so it's like that's the natural inclination. Now they weren't super church going, so it wasn't like that. But there were times it was like, we're gonna make sure we go to church. Our neighbors, I think a pastor, so we go to their church, maybe go to church. So for me, that kind of reflects 5% teachers because what we say is we deal in reality, and
right,
what we can touch. So
right,
it's like Christianity, you being taught to fear something that you can't touch. But to me, someone who thinks in reality is that scary as coming out here and getting my ass whooped in the street,
right,
because that hurts. I can
right.
feel that right now. That don't feel good. So just that kind of reference.
Got it, man. So when I listen to the album, every song almost sounds like its own chapter. It's like a little chapter to me, man. Was that the intention?
A little bit, yeah, because as if Fist of the North Star song titles were based off moments I had in the show, then Tears of an Apostle song titles were based off moments I had in life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Fist of the North Star, I'm talking about him, the Fist of the North Star, and Tears of an Apostle. This is more so my life, or maybe, something I just experienced or went through where I
Mm.
can express it like that. So kind of each one is a chapter, of life. They chapters of life.
Yeah, man. So for the most part, this project, it only has a few hooks, man. It's straight verses.
Oh
I
yeah.
feel like in this era, you're making a statement, man. Was that the intention, or that's just like it just came together like that randomly, where you're mostly rapping like long verses on this one?
I mean, I want to say a little bit of both, to be honest, because when it comes to expression, like if you want to vent, you just want to get it off you. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I don't really want to circle back. I don't want to dilly dally on it. I want to say this, and then I also want to say, like track one, I'm going to say this. Track 2, I also want to say this. Track 3, I also want to say this. So it's kind of just, if you in an emotion, like the album title, Tears of an Apostle, if something brings you to tears, that's a raw level of expression. So to me, I just saw it like, this is how I want to get it off me. Now, some of the songs that have hooks like Tread, they do reflect some of the cyclical natures of like something I experienced. Like maybe if I'm dealing with a relationship that isn't healthy, but I keep going back. Okay,
Mm.
bring the hook back.
You have a lot of tracks like that. Those are some of your best tracks, man.
No, I
Do,
appreciate it.
do, like you talk about like tears, like crying from a relationship. That's not something everyone does, man. Is that something you have any hesitation to do? Like people are gonna think I'm soft or anything like that, or
No,
like you pretty boldly like get into that
no,
stuff, man. But that's some of your best music, man, for sure.
no, for sure. Yeah, I never could think like that. I mean, if that's how it is, I'm not trying to tell people I'm a crybaby, but it's like everybody cry. Even
Yeah,
grown
man.
and nah, men don't cry. Blah blah blah. Howard, the people that do that be the worst. They be in the worst position that say the stuff like that. Me personally, if that's what happened, that's what I'm experiencing. Because at the same time, as an artist who knows, the deeper I write something, the more the audience will receive it. So
Right.
if this is what's really happening to me, that's the purest level that they could hear this and be like, dang, that's hard. I really appreciate
Yeah,
this
yeah.
when they receive it.
Are you always rapping about one girl, or this is like multiple? I feel like you're always talking about like this dream girl. You know what I mean? The one that got away. You know what I mean?
Nah,
Uh,
it could be something like that. It could be different experiences in life. What I just finished, maybe one I just finished with, maybe one I'm with right now.
yeah,
Maybe something I remember and I still think about that. It affects me.
right.
I'm saying, man, why did it go like that? Or kind of stuff where it ended a while ago, and now that I'm older, I realize why it did go like that. So
Yeah,
now I'm standing to speak on it.
right, man. So in this album, are you speaking just from your experience? Sometimes I feel like you're rapping about shit you're seeing. It's not even shit you've done yourself. I could be wrong though, but let me know, man.
I would say 85 to 90% is my experience. Outside of that is where we get more like 5% rapping as like black man. 5% you would say like sometimes you greet people as hey black man or hey, peace God, peace Lord, peace Almighty. Identifying with and reaching out to the people that y'all have the same situations. I empathize with you. You don't have to handle it how you handling it. You know what I'm saying? Like being a shoulder for someone who they don't know how to express. Like, cause an apostle, right? If I'm 5%, that would apply to anyone who's
Yeah,
an apostle. Tears of an apostle cry. It can apply to the tears of anyone who sees themselves, as the God. Peace to the God. Wu-Tang Clan is the God. Jay-Z is 5%.
yeah.
Nas raps a lot of 5% stuff himself. I think Carmelo Anthony is 5%. I want to say he wore his 5% chains back in the day to the NBA game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could relate to people that's like, I'm the God, he the God. We share knowledge. It's almost like when you build properly, you can feel what they feeling because you identify. So I say 10 to 15% is identifying like
Because
that.
so when you mention things like court cases and stuff like that, I'm like, is this Griot, like Griot's life we're talking about, or someone else? Like little things, like
Yeah.
little details. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Um. So look, it's amazing to see that you, Javi, and Ja King are still tight. You got them both on this project. I started interviewing all you guys around the same time in 2023, and then
hmm
I found out you guys were all like building together, which was crazy. I see them doing a DIY tour, something like that, which is dope to see. You consider joining up with them at all?
It's definitely been something that's been on the table a few times. Now I've personally felt like kind of the same way I've communicated it to them is I feel like I want to reach a certain level because there's a way where it should be like if that did happen, the underground should be like, yo, about time, finally, that's a perfect click. It shouldn't be like who's this dude y'all bringing in? You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like it should be like that. I feel like
Right.
happens, it should be more natural. But to me, I feel like it involves more work as far as building my catalog up and kind of being more familiar. You know, the same way in mainstream music, Al, people are familiar with multiple artists
Yeah,
to where
yeah,
once they finally connect, it's like, wow, they should have did that a while ago. I
yeah.
would want to get more of that point. I feel like
You
a
want
lot,
to stand on your own 2 feet, so you're known for your own
definitely,
thing before you guys link up. That makes a lot of sense.
definitely. I feel like right now it's more of a place where the people that know them, and the people that
Yeah,
don't. There's overlap for sure, but
yeah,
it's not enough yet for me to feel
yeah.
like it'll make it really spark if it does.
Yeah, inevitably it'll happen though. I see it as a wave in my mind, you know what I mean? You three, so
Yeah.
in my mind anyways. Um, so you got a track Bask in the Shade featuring Javi Darko, produced by Custodian of Records. Who's on the soundbite at the end of the song? The soundbite goes, I don't believe in giving the audience what they want anyway. I believe in giving the audience my best and making them like it. You don't make hit records that way, but you could sleep at night. I feel like that describes what you do very well. Who was that, bud?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. I always forget his name because that was his point. I always forget his name. He feels like in that interview he was saying he feels that when you
Is it
make,
Russell Brand? Like I'm not familiar with all names and shit like that.
I want to say,
Labi Cifra, Marlon is saying
yeah,
Cipher. Labi
he's right.
Cipher.
It's Labi.
Okay,
I think
okay.
he could correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's French. I think he's a French, but he was saying he feels like when music is made, you shouldn't know how the artist looks,
Yo,
what the name is. You shouldn't know none of that. You should just be able to absorb it. So I feel like that's a perfect point for it. You know what I'm saying? On
I'm gonna put something in the ether, man. So you had my most played project in 2023. Marlon from Miami had my most played project last year. Am I Aliens? Amazing project. That
I
shit
did
was a
listen to that
movie. You
fire.
guys should work together, man. I'm just putting it out there, bud.
Hey, well, I'll tell you. Well, he on here. So it's like I
Yeah,
don't know.
bud.
Give me permission. I'm a feature on his joint he got coming out, which I think will definitely lead to more work. He's in here. We've spoken. We've connected. I am
Yeah,
appearing on him, Marlon, be very very soon. So this month,
dope, dope.
this month, I think he said the 28th his joint drop, if I'm not mistaken. And I got a verse on there that I think is fire. That song's hard.
Dope, dope, dope. Uh, yeah, man. And then Stained Glass. Stained Glasses. That was another track featuring Jaw King, the Divine,
Hmm.
amazing, young upcoming MC. The way you guys were rapping back and forth, just the wavelength you were on. I can't really describe it, but I never heard anything quite like that. Were you guys in the studio together, or did you guys do that remotely?
Oh no, so that happened in the flesh. Like it happened real
Sounds
work.
like it must have happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it had to. It had to. He was in North Carolina on and off, back and forth for a while, and he was in Charlotte visiting his sister, I believe, and he was like, "Yo, I'm in Charlotte. You know me. I record from the crib." So I was like, "Yo, pull up. I'm at my girl crib. You know, slide through. I got the studio set up." And he slid through, and we was in a shared note, like play the beat. I'm playing some unreleased stuff. He playing some unreleased stuff. I was like, "Fuck, let's make some shit." So I played a beat. We was in a shared note. So you know how the shared note works. While I'm typing, he on my phone, on his phone, he can see what I'm typing. So we
right.
section it out where I'm typing. I finished 4 bars. And it was like, okay, your go. He finished his 4 bar. And we was bouncing it like that, kind of
Yeah,
feeding off the energy.
that was dope, man. Pulled it off well. Um, I just wanted to ask you, got a track Monoliths of Shabazz produced by San
Yeah.
Ivory. What does that mean, man? I tried to look it up. I like to look up what does that mean anything? Is that about one of your producers on this project or
No, so to me, Monolith Shabazz is just like he is also Johnny Storm is also a 5%er. So
okay.
we speak a lot of the same language, and I resonate with a lot of his music heavily. I will say that's one person I'm a enormous fan of Johnny Storm, and I feel like I'll mess around. I'll work with him whenever I can. Um, but Monolith Shabazz is almost like to me it's the leftovers of so Shabazz people refer the Lost Tribe of Shabazz something like that.
Okay.
It's like remnants of almost ancestors, what they turned into or what developed of them, what happened to them when they were spread apart or left their homeland in Africa or the Asiatic black man, if you will. But monoliths of Shabazz being remnants of what was, what
Got it.
maybe once was great and isn't like that anymore, but we still carry that.
Yeah. And you guys got to check out track two. He has a super long verse. He killed it, but that's like one of the longest verses I've heard in a minute, man.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man. So we went through the other tracks. Everything is quality, man. I wanted to talk about the underground lane in general and just where you see yourself fitting in. Like, do you consider yourself to be in the underground lane? Do you consider yourself to be in a lane at all? And do you see any challenges for yourself to market yourself as an artist? Do you think about that stuff?
Now I think about it, I would definitely say I'm underground. Just even with the people I interact with on a daily basis, as far as like the mutual fans, because you always get fans who are already being a rapper. I know a lot of rappers now, right? So you always get fans who were before they were a fan of you, huge fans of someone you already know or worked with. So I would say just off that, the underground network is definitely something I would say I'm a part of. As far as promoting and expanding, I don't feel like I see the challenge because to me it's like I feel like as far as I'm growing my pen, advancing my pen, nothing could go wrong.
Right. Do
How
you do you feel any pressure like being in a lane that's like known for grimier sounds, grimier approaches, often associated with the underground? Do you feel that poses any challenges, or again, not really, like you're saying?
Nah, to me honestly, nah. I mean, I feel like it can be. I feel like you can portray grime in the delivery over. You don't have to have a grimy beat or a grimy lyrics for it to be grimy. It could be the delivery, and it could be
Right.
the energy of how you deliver. Because I feel like you could call stuff on Golden Laws of Attraction grimy, then it's that's soulful,
Yeah,
you
definitely
know.
a few grimy tracks on there for sure.
And I feel like it comes down to delivery and execution, almost being like perfection, but also like just standing on who you are as an artist is grimy. That's kind of like a steel fly concept right there. Like
Right.
as far as what you're doing is true to what you already was getting into or what you're supposed to be doing, what you should be doing, what keeps your mind clear, keep your spirit right. That's grimy to me. Whatever stands on that, that's grimy no matter what you're doing.
That's a dope way of looking at it, man. And you know what? I've heard you say you're going for heads, you know what I mean, when you're writing, but I think like your writing is beyond that. Like, I'm not so interested at this point in punchline rapping. I like shit I
Yeah.
could relate to, or just shit that pushes the boundaries or a different perspective. I feel like you're just writing, but I've heard you say you're also going for heads. To me, it's like if I was going for heads, I'm like trying to do punchline after punchline, you know what I mean? Um, What's your thought process when you're writing? Are you thinking competitively? Because it doesn't necessarily sound like you're thinking competitively when I listen to your music, man. It's a
Oh yeah.
different experience, man. You know?
I definitely don't. I wouldn't say I think competitively when I write. What I would say is I trust what my brain sees as good or hard. Like what excites me, I feel like if it excites me when I write it, I feel
Yeah,
like that's enough. Cause I
yeah.
feel like I consume, I trust my consumption levels. And my even my girlfriend, she'll stamp this. I only consume stuff that's at such a level every single day. Like 24 hours in a day, I'm only consuming the craziest sounding bars, hip hop music.
So
Sometimes
you're
it's
very selective, man. I'm super
yeah,
selective, bro. I usually only listen to a few artists at a time when I'm preparing for an interview. But yeah, sorry,
sure.
continue.
Oh yeah, but like that being said, like I peel off so many layers from so much advanced rap just listening as a fan because I'm never afraid to be a fan of people. So if I'm a
That's
fan
dope.
and I'm spamming somebody's album that's really nice, I trust that after listening to that, when I write something, I feel is like, dang, that's crazy. What I just wrote is crazy. It gotta be. I feel like it gotta be because what I've been listening to, my standard is already at a certain level. Like if I listen to a whole bunch of Vega 7, I
Yeah,
don't. I could write something whack and think it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah.
think if I thought it was crazy, it had to be.
Jubei 208 is like keeping a high level to match and supersede oneself to challenge and elevate. Indeed, I
Yeah.
feel like that's what Griot's doing. So again, I see you putting in work with J.R. Swifts. You guys dropped at least a single. He's worked with a who's who of names, West Side Gun, etc. How did that come together, and what does that mean to you at this point?
Oh yeah. I mean, right now, I kind of on my end of the spectrum, I kind of refer to him as like I see him as almost like a mentor right now. Like, yeah, we making an album, but he's worked with a lot more people than me. He's been doing this for a lot longer than me. He's got a few years on me. And I've been a fan of his music since before I started rapping. There's certain people in that pocket where I was listening to you before we knew each other. I was just a fan, or before I rapped. I knew of you. I knew what songs you did with West Side Gun, El Camino, Conway.
Yeah,
I like those songs. So for him, he's a mentor as far as like making sure I stay on my path. Like the album we doing, he's not he's not rushing me. He's kind of like, yo, you dope enough to where if anybody stop you from making it, it's your fault. You know what I'm saying?
bro, that's how I
It,
feel.
it
And
can
like
only be
again,
my
I felt that way since 2023. You
yeah.
had my most played album of the year. That was your debut album. And like it's dope to see people like that thinking like that because that just confirms what everyone's thinking about. I
Nah,
agree.
nah, definitely. But as far as how we connected, I got to give flowers again to Jamil Honesty on that, if I'm not mistaken. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Jamil sent him Still Fly, and he played through and was like, and we kind of built a bridge through that, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I could be
Mm.
wrong. Pretty sure that's how it rolled out.
You guys got anything else in the works? Any
Oh,
project baby, anything like that that you
oh,
can
we're
speak on or
definitely doing an album. Me and JR are definitely doing an album. Definitely expect singles. He's been helping me realize the proper structure of like pacing leading up. We've got two singles out now. We're about to do another one, and not too long, drop another single and keep
yeah.
keep building behind the scenes. But definitely a full body of work to come from
So
both of us.
is he helping you quarterback a rollout with his experience? Because that might be a good thing to gain some knowledge about to a guy
Oh
like
yeah,
that, man, for sure.
not definitely. I mean, like even just right now, like if both the songs out, if I'm not mistaken, they could end up being on the album. That by itself, I've never even done that before. Like
Right.
have a song out that's on the album. So I've done videos, which is one thing. Maybe it's on Instagram, maybe it's on YouTube, but it's
Yeah.
songs all platforms now that people can get used to. And then once the album drop, they already know those
I
songs.
I've thought this for a while and I don't see it happen that often in the underground, but I
Mhm.
thought it makes more sense. You could get more out of it by dropping singles leading up to the album that
Yeah,
form part of the album instead of unloading the clip. When the album drops, then there's no surprises. But I find a lot of people in the underground just focus on trying to get like some kind of bag, dropping the album that they don't do that. But I'm
yeah.
happy to hear you're doing that. It seems to make
Oh
more
yeah, definitely.
sense to me, man. So
Nah, he's definitely put me on that bag. He's pretty big on, hey, let's get another single. Which one we're gonna do? Let's cook more of
yeah,
those two. So when we drop it, we still got way more in the tank. So
I feel that's a bit more of a mainstream mentality, but I think more people in the underground could definitely adopt that personally. Um, yeah, man. So Aloe Aid is asking what other artists you listen to, man.
I mean, let me see. I definitely got to say, you being in Canada, I have a lot of Raz Fresco plays every year. Um,
Nice.
Raz Fresco big, Daniel San big too, to be honest. Um,
Yeah.
one that's to me, the people that know, and I saw you did the interview, so you know now before I say his name. Huge inspiration from Ito, man. Ito is crazy to me.
Incredible, man.
Like I would still probably say the Dead Poets album is it's hard for me to put new albums past that over the past few years.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
me, that album is ridiculous. Dead Poets, Ito, I'll play that. I play it through still right now. I play through it.
I just got the his interview. We just had a dope interview, but I'm secretly hoping that he sees this when I post the
Yeah,
highlight clips and somehow I put an ether because you guys are both very author-like. You know what I mean? The way you rap, man. So
he's ill.
yeah, that would be a dope collab to see in the future, man. But yeah, man. So can you throw out some names of let's start with producers you want to work with. I mean, you got J.R. Swifts, that's huge. Not out of this world stuff like Alchemist, but like something within closer reach, but still, like a stretch assignment to work with. Are there a
Oh yeah.
couple of producers you want to work with?
Oh yeah, absolutely not. I felt like you would ask me that. So I had made a small list already in my head of like,
Nice.
was like, yo, an album with them would be legendary or just
With
great.
who? With who?
One, I'd say DJ Green Lantern. Uh,
Okay.
just from the tapes he used to do when before I was rapping, like the Machine on steroids, you know what I'm saying? The Benny, the Butcher on steroids, those type
Right.
of tapes. DJ Green Lantern would be crazy. Another one, definitely Future Wave still.
Right.
And to me, the third one I would say that I think would be really fun is Spanish Ran. I would love to
Right.
do an album with Spanish Ran. I think that would be crazy.
I tried to put August Fannin onto you when I interviewed him. I
Yeah,
know you're a
August
big.
Hill.
I'm gonna try and do the same with Future Wave because we talk a little bit about it. I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna be if he hasn't peeped your music yet, bad. So for sure, bad.
yeah, he's ill.
Uh, any MCs similar situation that you'd like to work with that like not out of this world, but kind of like would be dope to get under your belt?
It's plenty now. I honestly feel like a lot of them, the ones that come to mind immediately, a lot of them I already have worked with a little bit or
Dope.
spoken to at least. I feel
Yeah.
like I to them, but I haven't extended that out. Like one I know I wanted to cook with is the Real Ice Lord. He's real in the cut. The Real Ice Lord is one I want to do. Through J.R. Swift's would be L if messing with L's high would be crazy, right? That's all
Nice.
because that to me is something like that's such a challenge stepping up as far as like trading trading
Structure.
yeah, trading blows with someone like Els I feel like could advance my pen, and that's something that I always want. But the
Yeah.
real Ice Lord, I want to reach out to him. Raz Fresco, who was another 5%er. Well, I met him in the flesh actually at a show and prove in New York. We was at a 5% event, and I met him,
Hmm.
took a picture with him. He performed with SD Knack, and that was an ill night as well in New York.
So I wanted to ask you, I saw footage of you performing on Halloween. At what city was that in? Where was
Chicago,
that?
favorite city.
Chicago. Okay. That's where you started rapping from what I caught, right? In Chicago is when you started
So
rapping,
something
right?
like that. I was in college, but it's technically I was in Southern Illinois. So I was
Got it.
like 5 hours south of Chicago. But Chicago's such a big city that they branch out everywhere. So all my roommates was from Chicago.
Got it. So that first clip I saw of you performing, I didn't see the crowd fully. I saw people standing around, and I'm like, I wonder if people know witnessing what's in front of them, man. Because to me, it's genius what you're doing, right? Do you
Yeah.
feel like people are getting it when you're going out to these shows? You're not rapping this everyday commercial bullshit or typical narratives. You know what I mean? Do you feel people are getting what you're doing in the live element?
Oh, I think absolutely. I mean, I would say one thing I gotta say is with the style of music I make and the way that I rap, it's not like they can dance, jump around. I
Yeah,
honestly enjoy when I start rapping. I take pride in it being very quiet because I feel like that means people they locked in because I pulled them in. So now they
right.
listen. He's saying some crazy shit right now.
Yeah,
I'm saying so. I feel like I take a lot of pride when it get a certain level of silence, and it's
yeah,
always met with once I get off the stage. Now people want to run up, extend, take a picture
yeah,
on Instagram, but they might have been quiet during the show because there's too much information. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
giving a lot of information.
Yeah, man. Yeah. they're capturing bits and pieces, man, and just being amazed off that. You know what I mean? I would get that. That's how if I heard you live for the first time, I think that's how I'd have to process it. By the way, Vegas 7 just joined. Thank you for
Peace,
joining,
peace.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So yeah, so couple closing questions, man. And thanks for your time, man. So we talked briefly in the DMs about transitioning full time to music. What do you see as the path to getting there? Like, what are the steps to getting to focusing on music full time? Do you see for yourself?
I mean, to me, bottom line, there's really two main ones. Where I'm in with the CDs now, I feel like the vinyls will come soon. But the main steps, to me, a personal thing I got to get over is just scheduling. I need to start scheduling. I create with the flow. So like when I feel like writing, that's when I feel like writing. When I don't feel like I don't want to do nothing, I need to like, the schedule. I've always heard from a lot of the people that I look up to that the music got more advanced for them when it was like, okay, between 7 and 10, that's when I'm doing something. After 10, I'm done. Before 7, I'm not doing nothing. Like, or however their schedule is. The scheduling, I feel like, is very important. It's a very important hurdle to overcome. Um, and then
That was
also,
my challenge when I was
yeah,
doing the music is I could never turn it off effectively. Are you able to compartmentalize this shit like
no,
that?
no, it's a challenge, man, because, I still need to work a job. So it's like
Yeah,
when I really want to make music, I love music too much, right? I'd rather go home. Well, I might get fired, I might get whatever. If an idea is pulling me too bad, I need to go work on it. So the same way when I
yeah,
start writing a verse, I don't like to really, I don't like to interact with nothing until it's done. Right? Don't
yeah.
talk. I don't really want dinner. I don't want to eat. I don't want to chit chat with you. I want to finish. And then when I'm finished, I can do something else.
Yeah, got it, got it. So Vegas 7's like, I'll wait, my brother. Anything I see the Griot, I'm clicking, man. We had a whole segment about you guys, man. We're waiting for the
Yeah.
collab. You know, I like to push the agenda, so you could circle back on the interview, Vegas. So last question I'll ask you: do you feel like you can get your name up being located in Charlotte, or do you feel like you need to relocate or move around?
Oh yeah, I feel like Charlotte is a great place to get the name up. I had the realization more. To be honest, like if you would have asked me a year ago, I would have said I really want to go to like Chicago for real. I feel like the love out there is very vast for the bag I'm in. It's very deep. But for me, I had the realization more so this year that Charlotte is the place to be, meeting the right people, the events. There's a lot of people in Charlotte that are really, really trying to like get over that last hurdle to make Charlotte one of them places. We got certain people like Mavi, Ruben Vincent, Jamonte Ogbon, De Niro Ferrar. There's specific people that's like they doing their thing in the underground or just in that certain bag that's like really connecting. And I feel like my bag specifically hasn't necessarily been claimed in Charlotte.
Mm.
So I could be the first person that's in my particular specialty to kind of cement a pillar.
I think you got a unique bag in hip hop. Hip hop, I know that's saying a lot, so I could definitely see that in Charlotte, man. Um, Look, it's been dope chopping up once again. This is
Almost
interview
definitely.
number 3. If you guys are intrigued or a super fan of Griot, go back and listen to the other 2 interviews. Check the evolution. I'm sure we're gonna have another interview. Just before we depart, I'm gonna shout out everyone in the live. So we got Jubei 208, Charlotte is a melting pot. Thank you for joining. Al 08, Vega 7, uh, plenty of others, Golden Arms Kid. Any Actually, is there anything, what can we expect next? I know you just dropped this album. Is it worth talking about the next project or
Oh,
too early?
absolutely. Me and J.R. Swifts is moving at 1,000 miles an hour pretty soon here. We're moving at
Okay.
a fast pace. That'll be at least 10 some songs. We'll see how many we build. But outside of that, there's EPs that's going to be on the way. There's also another Charlotte based album with a Charlotte producer I'm doing. Uh, So that's gonna be dope. Got like 3 songs for that, and kind of knocking those out steadily, but always more concept. I just started the day I uploaded Tears of an Apostle. I started writing a new album. I got a new concept that I want to do that one real bad right now.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
so that'll be dope. With the dude Devin Rogers, I'm doing an album with Devin Rogers. That's who did the cover art on Tears of an Apostle, Dev Rogers. So he produces as well, and
Yeah,
his production seems to be something that I'm about to kind of dive into and make an album with that.
got it. But J.R. Swift's is up next for sure.
Probably,
And is
yeah,
there a
yeah.
target like quarter, Q1, Q2, Q3, or too early
Uh,
to say?
it kind of will be up to like if I get a burst of completing a lot of songs, I think he'll be like, "Fuck it." That's kind of how he is, you know. Like once we get a single that's hard, like, hey, let's drop it. You know,
Yeah,
Halloween, drop it on Halloween. Another one, drop it first of the year. You know, whatever it is. We kind of picked out the next single already, and he's like, "Yo, we're gonna do that one next. Send me the stems. Let's keep cooking some other joints."
dope, dope. Any final words before we depart?
Oh nah, man. I mean, I'll tell people definitely tune into the album. It was delayed on Apple Music, but it finally posted today. So you know that's a relief. I wasn't sure when that was gonna happen. So if you haven't listened to it yet, definitely tap into that Tears of an Apostle, man.
Do it. Great album. Masterpiece in writing, man. Thank you everyone
Yeah.
for joining. Have a great night.
Peace, peace.
Peace.